Test, test. What is up, adventures? Let me get camera going. How's it going, everybody? Yeah, I just changed the music for the last bit there to a DMCA free one. Night of Nowhere to be seen. Update postponed by 1 month. It is not postponed. So just so you guys know, many of you know this already, but I only speak English. If you have a question in Portuguese, it would be great if you could Google Translate or ChatGPT translate. I usually know what's being asked. We pretty much always, and I assume today is the same, have CMs translating in the chat. So if you don't speak English, there's usually someone translating. As well, we will have a translated version of the stream, as well as like a summary of the stream translated as well. Yeah, so if you don't speak English, you can hold on for that and just hang out and enjoy the vibes. We're gonna change the video here. We have a different video here. Oh, that's the wrong one. Ignore that one. This one. So just different background video, just recording of just grinding in the game with the new Warforged weapons. So we'll just have that play in the background, not lagging camera, like it is lagging. Drops are on. Yeah, I believe so. New troll hunt spot. Okay. So we have a lot to share. I can't do a timer more than an hour for some reason. The OBS script doesn't support it. Once in 23 minutes, we will set an hour timer though until PTR number 2. PTR number 2 goes live in the final PTR in an hour and 22 minutes. So we're going to go through the update notes for that. We have a lot of changes, but also a lot of additional stuff coming in. Some stuff that you guys know about already, such as Warforging and the new ocean content. But we also have some other stuff we're going to share that I know pretty much everyone here is going to go crazy over, because stuff that the community's wanted for quite some time. So we're going to be sharing those as well during the stream. I will probably share those first, but we're going to go through all the update notes together here, and throughout I'm going to be answering questions. Just so you guys know, there are boosted Twitch drops, so make sure you have that set up. And yeah. Also, another thing, this stream will be live until PTR number 2 goes up. So if you guys don't finish your Twitch drop, you can hop over to any of our streamers, and they will also have those boosted Twitch drops as well. Lovely work on the PTR servers. New cosmetics are awesome. New PP is awesome. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Appreciate that. Like, we had our first PTR go live for Horizon's Call, I guess a week and a bit ago. And the reception's been incredible, guys. It means the world to us that you guys share when we're adding things you also love. It's been very encouraging. Just understanding that we feel like we're going very much in the right direction with how we're doing development. You know, it's always scary doing an expansion, because you're like, hey, are they going to love this? Are they going to hate it? But you know, the last few months we've been putting a much larger emphasis on listening to community requests and things that you guys are asking, and just trying to engage more on different things. And I think we really nailed all the stuff coming in Horizon's Call. I think in many ways, like, no MMORPG is ever done, right? There's always things you can add to make the game better, whether it's quality of life, new systems. It's a never ending thing. That's why MMORPGs, a lot of them are developed for 20 years, right? There's always new things to add, new interesting mechanics. But we feel strongly that the things added in Horizon's Call are all things that people have very much been waiting for and felt were missing from Raven Dawn. So we're very excited about all the stuff coming in Horizon's Call. And after that, we already have a very thought out roadmap already on what the next content is going to be after that, how we're doing updates, how we're doing content drops, stuff like that. a lot of you guys know, but our studio has grown a lot since the release of Raven Dawn. A lot of games, when they release, they cut 50 to sometimes 90% of the staff working on it. We've seen that with some huge MMORPGs that have released in recent years, and we took the complete opposite approach. Everything that's come from the expansion has been from the release has been 100% reinvested into the studio, to grow the team, from everything from community managers, but primarily developers, artists, world designers, game designers, balanced team. We're very much committed to the long term on this. We know we have a special project as a base and as a foundation, and we want to continue to build on that. So we put our money where our mouth is, I guess, on that. With that, we have a lot of things working behind the scenes as well for the studio. We're very likely opening actually a physical studio in Portugal in the very, very near future, like before the end of 2024. So we've been quite busy with that as well. But it was also great. We met up with a bunch of players and stuff in Portugal, so that was a ton of fun. So if any of you guys are here, we had a blast with you guys. But really, it was 99% a work trip. But it was very important. And great for the long term of what we're doing here. So, we're going to continue to build. We're going to continue to add more and more to the game, content, quality of life, everything. When you bring in new staff, it takes time to onboard them and really get the most out of them and have them in the development loop and understand the processes. And now we're starting to reap those rewards, if that makes sense. Very excited about the pace that we're able to develop stuff, the pace that we're able to add stuff, and what that looks like here. So, Brazilian here, but living in Portugal. Yeah, we were shocked how many Brazilians live, especially in the city that we're likely opening our studio in, which is Braga. Anybrain is there, so we work a lot with them, and so they were actually who kind of put us on to Portugal. We were evaluating like 10 different countries. And the fact that a lot of our staff can just speak the same language there is huge. We, of course, have a very large Portuguese community. And so being in Portugal is also great for that. But there's the added benefits of Portugal being in the EU, how close it is to so many like conventions and different partnerships and stuff like that. It's just a really good geographically location as well. And the fact that our staff can speak the language is not too much of a barrier for them is huge as well. And we also have just incredible support from the Portuguese government as well, helping, like, they really believe in what we're making, and they want to support tech and the game industry in Portugal. And so they're helping us out a lot as well. But yeah. All right, guys, we don't need the streamer tier list in here. How can I become a beta tester? How can I be? I'm not quite sure what you're asking. Portugal is a Brazilian country. Yeah, I mean, kind of both sides, right? Obviously, you guys are very commingled, or were very commingled at one point. But yeah, Braga, for example, 25% of the people that live there are from Brazil, which is pretty wild. That's just such a huge amount of people that are from another country, which is also very cool. We saw a lot of people walk around with Brazilian football jerseys. I'm living in Switzerland, but I'm always traveling between Portugal and Ireland to visit friends. Yeah, I mean, Portugal is an awesome country. Very affordable, which is awesome. Very beautiful. Yeah. And yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, like the three highest countries that we were looking at was Poland, Brazil, and Portugal. Portugal ended up moving out ahead, a big part because of the geographical location versus Brazil. Yeah. Nida, regarding the updates that aren't set in patch notes, is there any reason for hiding changes without reporting it? What changes are you referring to? Because like at times, like we miss noting certain things down, right? Like you got to understand that it's, you know, the community management team that puts together these patch notes, and at times they miss a certain change or something like that. But generally, obviously, we try to hit everything. If anything's missed, we right away add it. So if there's something missed from the patch notes, feel free to let us know, and we will make sure it gets added. 1.5K viewers in the chat is not pure emoji spam. Guess community is finally settling down. Yeah. Understandable. Have a good stream. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Again, if something's missing, just let us know and we'll add it. But generally, we try to make sure that nothing gets missed. But you got to understand too, like when we do an update or a patch notes and it has like 500 things mentioned, you know, sometimes like a few things just get missed. But hey, will there any change in the way we can inspect players? I want to be able to inspect and see their gear, not just stats. Yeah, I mean, like these are quality of life things that we're always kind of adding in. We just take things in priority. I think like most of the things we work on right now are more important than being able to just like see somebody's gear. It's not to say that that won't come, because I think that's a great feature. We just, you know, we tackle things based on priority. And we understand that every player, they have different priorities. Like they might see something change like fishing and they're like, we don't fish, so we want to see gear inspection, right? But of course, like what our goal is always is like, what is the most amount of people that want certain things? And that will be kind of how we decide our priority or how important we think it is to the game. Yeah, we're going to talk about something coming to trophies in this stream, actually. So rotate house feature also needed. Yeah, for sure. Did you guys enhance servers? Just saw a major guild war today at Gilead and Zero Leg. It was awesome to watch. Yeah, we actually made a very big change. We didn't want to share too much on it yet, but we made quite a big change. And yeah, it's, again, the goal is that we can have literally hundreds of people on a war mode server fighting, killing each other without any lag. And I think that change was a very huge one. Shout out to our lead engineer on that one. It was quite a clever change. Yeah. How about a login daily reward? Are you planning to introduce in the game? Not really in that method, but that's kind of what the adventures board is. It's meant to be like kind of a further than just a catch-up mechanic, but also like a more casual player mechanic. And we have additional changes coming to that. I think they're actually in the patch notes today. So we'll talk about that. Give us the good stop stalling. Okay, give me 1 sec, okay? 1 sec. Portugal is next to Spain. It is. We had one of our engineers from Spain fly over. It's like obviously very close and like $100 plane ride. Give us legacy skill resets. I can say this now. They are coming. We don't have an ETA just yet on it. Again, we're handling things one at a time. We have the expansion less than a week away. So we're, 6 days away right now. So we're incredibly busy. And then anyone who isn't incredibly busy, we're trying to have them just rest a couple days because we know it'll be a couple weeks probably straight of work without a day off. And so we're trying to get people to take a little bit of time, recover before the expansion. But then we'll get to cooking that kind of stuff. Adventures board was a really nice addition to the game. Yeah, 100%. And we have like more interesting stuff coming with the Adventurers board too. That's going to make it very engaging, very fun. Please let's choose how many Raven packs we can buy, not click one at a time. Yeah, definitely. We'll definitely add that as well. Have you guys ever thought about Blue Experience Bar not considering farming and crafts? It would encourage casual players to go out in the world and hunt with ease. Yeah, so we have some changes coming to that as well. Yeah. What up, TC Lee? Nice to see you, man. Okay. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. I'm going to turn the video off, open up the notes here, turn that on. All right, guys. More skill bars will come. Sorry, I'm just making a note on the skill bars. Okay. Can we have the video with the new weapon skills somewhere? Like the video that I was just showing? We can probably post it. It's just a really long video. It's like a 20-minute compilation video. Maybe we can like cut out like short videos of each. Like 10-second videos. Okay. Yeah. Neos, can you make a note of that? Just doing like 10-second cuts or something of the video that Yuma sent us. All right, guys, let's go through this. Because I know there's lots of stuff that you guys want to see. So today we are talking about the final PTR for Horizon's Call. It will be going live in an hour and 8 minutes for you guys to all try it out and see all the new additions to it. We also have some new additions that have not been previously teased or shared. Some of the stuff in here are things that weren't in the first PTR, but they are in this one, but you guys are already aware of them, but we're going to go through them anyways. And then again, there's some additional things that I think you guys are going to be very excited on. This will be posted, by the way, in like 40 minutes on the website. So you guys will be able to go through this in your own time, in Portuguese, stuff like that. We're just doing a first look here on the stream. First phase of testing Horizon's Call on the public test realm has been a great success. We're extremely grateful for all the positive comments as well as your valuable feedback. Again, I really need to say this again, guys. The reception's been incredible to Horizon's Call, not only from the community, but from creators that are either playing right now or creators that played in the past that are very excited to come back for Horizon's Call. For a lot of them, some of these pieces were what they really felt was missing. Aether Echoes, you know, having that PvE boss fight stuff. Also, I can share a little bit about the leaderboard as well. Remind me, guys, okay? Remind me to talk about the leaderboard because it's not in this, but I can share some cool stuff with the leaderboard. But then, especially like Aether Rifts, Guild Wars, these were all kind of things that they felt like they needed that like what's the purpose to everything, right? What's the end? What's the goal with all this? And they've been very happy to see us like hitting not just one of these things, but many of these things for everybody. But we are pleased to announce the second phase of the PTR begins today, August 3rd, 10:30 a.m. Pacific time, and will last for 48 hours. With Horizon's Call launching on August 9th, this is a great chance to get ready for the official release and a sneak peek of all the content coming. Blah, blah, blah. We're kind of talking about things that are coming in this PTR. To join the PTR, go to your account panel and opt in for the PTR and you're good to go. So let's jump right into all the changes. So the first thing is we're thrilled to announce the first update of new quest content for Elder Coast and Frost Steppes. This update introduces a total of 6 new dynamic quests and 3 story quests for each region. In due time, the stories of Elder Coast and Frost Steppes will begin to reveal themselves. Stay tuned for more information in future updates on this front. Furthermore, certain creatures in Ravenon have started concealing the treasures around their lairs. Adventurers can discover small rewards in both newly added and existing areas. Keep an eye out for additional Raven Crest emblems for those who are relentless in their search. This is something that I know many have asked for. Holy fuck, the arena PvP was really awesome. Yeah, I appreciate that. Again, we wanted to do a little bit of a unique take on arenas, not just literally like an arena. We wanted to add a few like little elements to it. Aether Rifts, though, are a starting point for us on that, right? The support that they offer is huge for us, and we can do some like really cool things with them now that the base system's made. So yeah. All right. Everyone's asking about trophy shards. We named them something different. I apologize. Instead of trophy shards, they're called glory shards. But we let's just go right into it. Due to overwhelming player requests and commitment to enhancing our PvE experience, we're thrilled to announce an exciting new addition to grinding-based content: Glory Shards. Collect these coveted shards and redeem them for a random creature trophy, adding even more thrill to your adventures. We wanted to take a little bit of a different approach here. we didn't want to allow people to select an exact trophy. The reason why is some trophies are much rarer than others, and allowing players to literally select the most rare trophies every time makes the system fall very flat, and it kind of ruins those certain trophies. And we also didn't want to make the shards tied to a certain creature. So for example, if you kill X creature, you get shards just for their trophy. It just makes things very, like, you'd have 100 different types of shards. It would be an absolute chaos. So all creatures will drop glory shards, and these will be able to be exchanged for a creature trophy. All creatures now have a chance to drop one of these 3 glory shards: small, medium, or large. The greater the experience gained from a creature, the higher chance it will drop a glory shard. Medium shards are equivalent to 5 small shards, while large shards are worth 20 small shards. Head over to the new NPC, Eris, to trade 100 small glory shards for a mystery trophy, which allows you to roll a random creature trophy. You can also sell these mystery trophies on the market, letting others try their luck. So with that, if you have a large or medium shard, you just exchange it for small shards. You need 100 small shards. This is kind of fluff around them. Here are the glory shards. Here is the mystery trophy. These trophies do not include Aether Rift or Aether Echo trophies. We have this very intentionally. We want these to be based on grinding-based trophies. Yeah, I can see everybody is very hyped on this. Again, this is something that we know everybody's been wanting for a while. We just wanted to make sure we took the right approach to it and make sure that, it kept things strong. And we wanted to add something really for players who grind a lot. We have a split community where some are very casual players and they just want to, play a little bit each day. We have ones that are much more hardcore and they're like, I want to grind every minute, especially with the expansion coming up. And so with that, we want to add something big for the grinding players and another level of like interesting loot that you can get, rare loot with the large shards, and then ultimately something that encourages grinding play a little bit further. We have more to come that's going to be encouraging grinding play, but this is one of the first steps in that. Now, it would be a life-changing improvement on the UI if we added hover stats. For instance, hover over health regen shows how much health per second. Yeah, that's something that, again, a quality of life thing that I'm sure we'll add. Yeah, if the trophy was soulbound, you're right. It would become useless because if you already have that trophy, it would not work. So. Nutter, do you guys have ideas for new archetypes? Yes, this is like my favorite part of MMORPG game design, is like classes, skill systems, stuff like that. We have like 10 ideas already. I can tell you that it won't be coming obviously in the expansion, otherwise that wouldn't have been announced. But I can tell you that in a future update, we already have plans for new archetypes that will be added, likely two. And pretty decent designs already for them, but that is something that we're going to be looking at next. And it also additional weapon types. That's pretty important to us as well. Okay, Warforging. We're going to lightly talk about this. This has already been posted. But Warforging is the process of channeling the residual energies of large battles into enhancing your weapons and armor. This residue is concentrated within Warforging shards that are attained from guild wars of rival clans. When two guilds clash, those participated on the victor side will get 250. Those losing side will receive 100. All members of both guilds who do not participate directly also receive 75 and 50 respectively, so none are left out of the spoils. When it comes to the process of Warforging itself, players must utilize a specific forge that is located in the city of Ravencrest or in your guild's fort if you control one. Warforging one-handed weapons cost 5 million silver and 500 Warforging shards, while the cost for two-handed weapons is double that amount. For Warforging armor, the cost is 3 million silver and 300 Warforging shards. I want to make super clear, guys, Warforging is meant to be late game content. If you are like level 50 and you're like, what the hell? I don't have that. That's fine. This is meant to be late game content. It's meant to be a North Star goal, something that you strive towards. You're not meant to play for 2 weeks and have all your gear Warforged at level 50. That is not the goal of this system. It is meant to be something that is consistently done throughout the expansion. So if you're like, I don't have that, or that's going to take me a while to get, that is totally fine. That it is not meant to be, again, something that you log in, Warforge all your gear, and you're done. It is meant to be something that is consistently reaching upon throughout the expansion. There's one other avenue to bypass the costs associated with Warforging. As every time a fort is won, it will provide one single Warforged charge that can be used by the leader or vice leader of the guild to Warforge a weapon or armor for free. Excellent leadership deserves excellent perks. So the reason that we did this is we wanted to add something to encourage and reward, I guess, guild leaders who do lead a guild into victory. Anyone here has been a guild leader before, or a vice leader or anything, knows how much work goes into running a guild and how much time goes into it. And we wanted to add something in where if you're running a successful guild, you will get rewarded for that. We'll probably be adding in a way that they can pass that charge on to anybody they want. So it's up to their selection. To be clear, if you're in a guild where your leader, vice leader, you don't feel like are distributing things fairly, or they don't have some form of system where it's like, okay, we get to use the shard or whatever, but we're going to give all members X amount of silver or whatever like that. If you're in a guild like that and you don't agree with the way things are being run, start your own guild and then you get your own Warforged shard, or join another guild that you think they do a better system for this. This is just like GDPR in GDPR. The gold looting in WoW. If you don't like the system that your guild is doing, I encourage you to join a different one. I think in the end of the day, guilds having that decision on how they want to run things, and if the decision is not good, players don't like it, and they start their own thing and get rewarded for that, I think that's great. I think any system that encourages people to start guilds and lead strong guilds is really important in MMO. Even if some members are like, oh, we know our leader won't ever do this or benefit us anyway, well then start your own thing and run what you think is a better way of running a guild. Warforging armor increases attributes and secondary stats by 10%. Warforging a weapon increases attack power, attributes, secondary attributes by 10%, while also upgrading its weapon skill to a superior Warforged variant, enhancing the weapon skill to have further capability. I am going to add the countdown here, because now we're under an hour, so I can do that. What would that be? 34:20. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we go like this. There we go. That looks good, right? Okay. Cool. Just so everyone has a countdown on how long until the expansion will come. Okay, now my OCD is hitting. Whatever. That's close. Good enough. Good enough. Warforged Dagger. On top of greatly increasing critical chance, lethal edge now makes your attacks apply a 10% healing reduction effect to the target for 4 seconds. Second it 5 times. Warforged Light Sword. Actually, you know what? You guys can go through these. Most of you guys know these already. I'm not going to go through all of them. We will have this posted in half an hour, guys. And you can go through all of them yourself. Balance changes. We're introducing new measures to improve balance and fairness in PvP, which we believe will be a major step towards better balancing player skills in the near future. These include the introduction of a defense reduction cap and anti-healing reduction cap. A defense reduction cap has been implemented to ensure that defense cannot be reduced below 35% of its total value. This includes weapon defense and spell defense. This is pretty self-explanatory. Here, yeah, you can read the caps. Anti-healing reduction. Just like defense reduction cap, healing received cannot be reduced below 35% of its original total value with new anti-healing reduction cap. This ensures that healing abilities remain effective even when facing multiple anti-healing effects. Really, we just wanted to bring in a way that a healer, with our healing changes that we've been making too, that a healer doesn't literally have 0% healing. It just makes you become completely invalid. And with the healing changes we made, we feel like this is a good measure to add in. Consideration for the future. We hope that by introducing both of these caps, PvP encounters will become more balanced with fewer instant kill scenarios and more opportunities for counterplay. This way, healing abilities can remain effective without becoming oppressive or underwhelming in PvP situations. These changes will also create a more dynamic landscape for future balance adjustments, removing some edge case scenarios and giving us more tools to fine-tune PvP aspects of the game. This will also provide you with more possibilities for counterplay and experimentation. We will be closely observing how this update influences PvP gameplay as we prepare future balance changes, and your feedback will be incredibly valuable to us. Again, to be super clear, guys, this is the first introduction of this. If we're like, you know what, 35% is not high enough or too low, these are, 2-minute changes for us to change the value and test out a different value. These are the values we want to go in to start for the PTR. That is why we have the PTR going live in an hour to test these out, because we very well made changes from 35% to 75% to 10%. We're not sure. It wouldn't be 10%. But in the end of the day, this is something that we can very easily change and is very fluid. So we will evaluate the feedback and the data that we get during the PTR on if we think this value should be changed. Sea creatures and balance. New sea creatures. In the second phase of Horizons Call PTR, the ocean is brimming with new sea creatures. From the alien-like giant jellyfish to the majestic orca, the ocean of Ravenon has really come to life. Creatures, new and old, offer unique ingredients to be utilized in bait recipes for cooking, as well as shipbuilding recipes. Take to the high seas and choose if you will stick to the safety of established trade routes or brave the unknown waters. Here's a full list of the new creatures. Piranhas, giant jellyfish, anglerfish. I'm not going to read all the fluff. You guys can do that yourselves. Orcas, vampire squids, sharks, great white sharks. These are distributed differently across the ocean. New challenges, again, new loot drops as well. So giving it an added reason to have a stronger ship to be able to kill some of these creatures, get their drops that are required in many different ways, and also be careful out there. Current ocean creatures. Moreover, already existing ocean creatures that were mentioned in the revamped patch notes for the first phase of Horizons Call PTR are now spawning directly in the ocean rather than just during dynamic events. Those include pirate frigate, pirate galleon, dreadnought frigate, dreadnought galleon, ghost frigate, ghost galleon, Morningstar frigate, Morningstar galleon, narwhales. Balance changes. Based on players' feedback, the balance of ship components in the ocean was further adjusted. Here are a list of the changes. I will let you guys go through these as well for the sake of time. Balance changes, balance changes, balance changes, lots of balance changes. Again, as always, we very well may do another further balance change to these before the expansion launches or post-expansion. In the first phase of Horizons Call PTR, we noticed significant interest in Aether Rifts and have already made several adjustments to them. Also, by significant interest, there was people who did like literally hundreds of rifts. It was actually insane. I'm glad you guys are loving the system so much. And anyways, continuing on, we've raised the chance of receiving an Aether Rift charge from claiming an Aether Stone from 50% to 100%. Adjusted drop rates for treasure items from Aether Rift creatures, reducing them proportionally in both solo and duo rifts. Reduce boss chest rewards proportionally to address the increased accessibility. Again, they are going to be easier to get the charges, so we reduce the rewards slightly. We realize that people just really enjoy doing the content itself, doing rifts themselves, so we wanted to make them more frequently able, but reducing the rewards slightly. Remove the death penalty for dying in Aether Rifts. Aether Echoes. Easy difficulty is now assigned to be accessible or is now designed to be accessible for casual players. Medium difficulty requires coordination between at least a tank and a healer, and hard difficulty is intended for well-organized parties and teamwork. The final difficulty, Madness, is yet to come. The Madness difficulty will be available on the expansion release. Echo of Bloodlust, a vampiric boss. This is going through all of the changes to... So for anyone who doesn't know, with the Aether Echoes, not only are the bosses stronger, but they also have different mechanics. Each one has an additional mechanic added based on the difficulty. You guys can go through these yourselves. Again, I won't go through every single boss's mechanic or their changes. General changes. Unlocking a new inventory tab for your backpack or backpacks, which are akin to stash tabs in PoE, are now 1,350 Raven coins instead of 1,750, and bank vaults are now 1,150 instead of 1,500 changes, or 1,500 coins. Sorry, I saw someone say changes and I read changes. So we reduced the price quite a bit on these, just making them a little bit more accessible for everybody. Reduce the fear duration of Sinister Sigil. Yeah, this is like a lot of balance changes here. I'll let you guys go through these in your own pace as well. Lots of fixes, PTR improvements. Yeah, I will let you guys go through all of these in your own. Again, these will be posted, guys, in 20 minutes, and you guys will be able to go through all of these once more on your own. I hope you guys enjoyed those. I know a lot of this was stuff that the community has very much wanted, especially the glory shards or trophy shards. And so we're very excited about bringing this in for everybody. Again, you guys will be able to play test this already in 50 minutes, and from there, get to enjoy all of it in the expansion release. No more free inventory slots. I'm not sure what you mean by that. You will still have the normal free inventory slots. Maybe you thought that when I said backpack, I meant like the main backpack. You will still get that for free. You won't have to. Only shirtless streamers for Raven Dawn. True, there are a lot of those. We can't get more inventory slots than 78. You will be able to get more with the backpack tabs. For anyone who doesn't know, the backpack tabs are like stash tabs in PoE. They automatically sort items. So if you loot, like for example, a gathering item, it will automatically go into your set backpack for that crafting item, creature product, stuff like that. So you can keep your inventory super clean, auto sorted into their own backpacks, and very easily be able to find it instead of like even auto sorting in one backpack. Yeah. Can you think about reworking Axe's Warforged skill? I think that's what you're trying to ask. Yeah, I mean, every ability is up for change always. Many of these abilities already changed internally throughout the process. So there's always a possibility that it changes. Yeah. PvE players excluded from the game. I don't think you read the Horizons Call patch notes then, because most of it is actually targeted at PvE. But if you need that, a CM can link it in the chat, so you can see all the PvE additions coming to the game. Yeah. We need a beef trophy. Yeah, people have been saying fishing trophies. I think those would be kind of cool. Just killed someone on a rich boat. Probably was AFK watching Niter. Thanks for the fish. Damn, that's cruel. Are there plans to make a reroll ability for our gear in the future? Yeah, possibly. The way that we handle that has to be very delicate, though, to make sure that it doesn't, cause issues with the crafting system and stuff. We've gone through some ideas that are much more in depth than people would think about when it comes to like rerolling gear, or much more in depth than most people's first reaction would be to rerolling gear. Because yeah, for us, it's very important that we make sure we don't devalue the crafting system in that process. Isn't it strange for a couple up a gain of power to GVG PvE players won't have this upgrade. Yeah, in the end of the day, Warforging is a base. The possibility of us adding like a PvE based Warforge that has more PvE focused abilities that come from some form of PvE content, possibly Aether Echoes or possibly dungeons, is very high. But in the end of the day, we can only do so much in a certain amount of time. Horizon's Call is packed with new systems, content, quality of life changes, additional quests. Like there is so much in that we've done in a few months. In the end of the day, we can only do so much though. There's always going to be more stuff we want to do. Adding in PvE Warforged abilities is already something that we've talked about. We can only do so much in so much time. I think Horizon's Call, or I know Horizon's Call has exceeded most people's expectations and how much we've done in such a short amount of time. But again, we can only do so much in a few months. So there's something you feel is missing, like, hey, we want PvE Warforged abilities, let us know as you have. But I can tell you that is something that we've already discussed. So. Will there be any changes to obtaining the melting device items? Yeah, so there is there's an NPC in the game that explains how it happens. Or how you obtain it. It is done in somewhat of a riddle. In the end of the day, we like having quests in the game that are not obvious to everybody for certain items. We may make it a little bit easier in how it's explained and how players understand it. But in the end of the day, there's a lot of dialogues in the game that have a very strong purpose. There's a lot of items in the game that still have not been found they're fully available to be found, but they're locked behind certain NPC discussions that some people pay attention to and some people don't. We have lots of creature products. Why not use them to maybe choose which attribute we want in the crafting system? Yeah, we might do that. Sorry, a lot of people are like talking to each other, and so I'm like reading through those, but then it's not a question, so I'm still reading through them. New attribute rooms do not stack from multiple houses, just so you guys know. Someone was mentioning on that. It would be cool to add a battlefield that you can queue with a party or random guys to do 10v10 PvP. Yeah, that is, again, the Guild Wars system is foundational support for something that we can do a lot with. Adding in like battleground queues, adding in different battlegrounds, something that is not tied to Guild Wars, but more of a battleground feeling. That is not very difficult for us to do now that we have the foundational system built out. And so, yeah, I think it's very likely things like this come in the near future. Twitch drops when? We have Twitch drops active right now. It'd be interesting to add a way to see a history of conversations with NPCs. Yeah, that is something interesting, like a journal type thing. Yeah, it's working, but Twitch takes time to update the inventory. Yeah, Twitch sometimes takes some time. Yeah, someone else asking regarding the NPC discussion. Some NPCs don't have their original dialogue if you skip through it the first time. So to solve these riddles may require alts. Yeah, so that is true. And so adding like a journal or something would be nice in the future. I encourage you though, don't skip through dialogues. If you're somebody that really wants to uncover like hidden items or mysteries and stuff in the game, if you're that type of player, I wouldn't like fly through dialogues. Yeah. We need more cosmetics in the Ravenon store. Yeah, we'll probably add more. Cosmetics take quite a bit of time to make, you know, and it interferes with other content, right? Anytime we make a cosmetic, we can't make another creature, stuff like that. And that is, you know, pulls resources away from adding content, stuff like that. But obviously it's also really important for us to have some way of monetizing, because we do monetize incredibly gently right now. Yeah, but that's why we made the new bundles. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm sure all of you guys do, but we have Horizon's Call bundles that we just recently added. They are 20% cheaper for sure until the expansion. We might extend it a few days after, but we're not sure on that yet. Right now, assume that up to when the expansion, it will for sure be discounted. Just an early bird discount of 20%. With that, it comes with the new, actually, I guess I can show it. I have the tab too small. With that, sorry, it won't let me scroll over because I'm window capturing right now. We have the War Rider bundle, the Kingmaker bundle, and we also have starter pack versions of them as well. Oh, it did display, right? With the Kingmaker bundle, you get a weapon shine. All weapons have this. This has been asked a lot. Every weapon you have will have this shine. So if you change weapons, don't worry. It's not something that you like. It's not like a voucher. It'll be for all of your weapons, all of your cosmetics. And then the War Rider bundle has an alternate War Rider teleport animation. So when you're teleporting, even into events, stuff like that, it will have a special War Rider teleport. Additionally, they all have their own unique cosmetics as well, and titles and all of that to go with it. If you don't want the Raven coins and you don't want the ship, you are able to get a starter pack bundle as well. But will there be a method to pay for people from Mexico? I believe PayPal supports Mexico. Same with Stripe, no? Next update, 100% PvE. We'll probably always do a mix of a little bit of each. This expansion was definitely like more PvP content than I would say we would add in most updates. Because it ended up being, I guess it's still quite a bit more on the PvE side than PvP. Because we added 2 PvP systems and many PvE changes. Especially if you consider like farming and gathering stuff in PvE, then we added way more PvE systems and changes. However, yeah, I agree that in the end of the day, like PvP systems, like you don't need as many of them, I guess, because they're much more repeatable content. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we see like a heavier weight in our next major update on the PvE side. Why don't you change blacksmithing experience? I believe they're already going through it right now. Again, guys, we can only do so much in so much time. I understand that like when you say, I want this changed, you expect it to be done in like a week. We have a lot of things we're working on. We have an expansion dropping in 6 days here. The team is incredibly busy. Most of the team works 7 days a week. We can only do so much. We try to do as much as possible so you guys are all happy. But just because you want something in right now doesn't mean we're physically able to do that, unfortunately. We're still human. Even if we work 16 hours a day, we can still only do so much. That's just the unfortunate reality of it. Dharma isn't working. That is true. And he also needs to learn programming. So we will get him on that. You guys are doing great. You're on the right path now. Yeah, I think that's one of the most important parts for us is is that we feel like we're on the right path in terms of development. We feel like we know Horizon's Call has been received very well by the community. Of course, there's always going to be something you don't like, and that's totally normal. If there's ever an expansion to a game and there's every single thing you like, that's very rare. Usually everyone has like a few things they don't like, and that's totally fine. But overall reception's been incredibly positive and encouraging. And so we're going to continue to build off that. We're going to continue to focus on building out those systems. And yeah. You don't understand how important this is, do you? We can't pay tax, and if we can, it's incredibly expensive. I absolutely understand how important it is to you, Cowbodge. Again, we can only do so much, mate. That's just the reality of it. Many things that we work on, they have already a 2-week pipeline of what's being done. We can't just flick changes instantly. They take time. They take people to discuss it, to make those changes, test them internally. Even if those changes are already in progress right now, things just take time. Because the alternative is we rush it in, people freak out because it's not balanced, the economy gets damaged, all of those things that you have seen as well in the community before. That is why we take our time on changes now. I already talked about the melting device. If you just tuned in, you can watch the VOD, go back about 15 minutes. Why skipping questions about melting device? I'm not. I talked all about it 15 minutes ago. You're welcome to go back into the VOD and listen to it if you'd like. Thank you for removing my mute nighter. I didn't remove it, but whoever did, you can thank them. I'm not skipping questions, okay? Anybody who comes in saying skipping questions, there's a lot of questions being asked. I can only answer so many at a time. Orange mobs, I know the team already is working on changes for it. It might be in for the expansion. I'm not sure, but I know they're making changes to it. Are you the melting device? This live is hot. I did respond to Cowbodge about 2 minutes ago, Daniel. Actually, I responded to him twice. Can you please skip this question? Are there more incentives for group content? Yes, we added Aether Echoes. They are group-based boss battles. Where's my channel point option for skipping a question? I know it's always funny when one person's like, my question's so important and you don't realize how important this is. And then everyone else is like, boring, like get over. Are dungeons still in the plan for future updates? Yeah, 100%. We wanted to do something a little bit more. We wanted to add in, we knew there was like a lot of things that we really wanted to add in Horizon's Call with Guild Wars, Aether Rifts, Aether Echoes, all those kind of things. And dungeons would have taken up enough time that all 3 of those wouldn't have been viable. Because we don't want to just introduce dungeons with like 3 different dungeons to do. And we're also trying to do a more unique take on dungeons as opposed to just like the classic MMORPG dungeon. You queue in, you run through it as quick as possible, and then you're done. We want to do something a little bit more unique on it. Yeah, they'll probably feel a little bit more like raids than just dungeons. We're not really wanting to bring in a piece of content that kind of just invalidates the open world content like dungeons do in most games. But we are very interested in doing a dungeon style piece of content, kind of like raids. Yeah, I believe the time for Guild Wars is already posted on one of the patch notes. Do you have any ideas to incentivize trade packs a little more and keep the roads and seas busy? I think trade packs are already quite incentivized. Is the team aware of opening or issues with opening Raven card packs? The game sometimes crashes. Maybe adding a skip freeze to the animation would be nice. Yeah, I know they've already taken a look at it. Obviously, it just happens to some people, not everybody. But maybe adding like a skip or freeze animation would be interesting. Someone's just asking on saying that grinding takes a while. We have additional stuff coming to grinding as well, more than just the glory shards that we mentioned. We also have something else coming. It wasn't in the notes, so I'm not going to talk about it yet. But any ETA about Yuma's balances? Yeah, she's always working on balances. Not sure when the next set will come in, but that is essentially her full-time position with us, is working on balance. So what about single target grinding? Again, there was nothing in the patch notes. I can't talk about it yet. I know that's 100% on the team's to-do list and Yuma's as well. But that is something that they're working on as well. Niter, buff my account. I need trophies. You got it. Will the game ever be on Steam? We are already approved for Steam. We're strategically deciding when to go live on Steam, though. We will, though, in the future. I can guarantee you of that. What will you do about 2 healer strategies in the Aether Rift? So we're able to, just with a value change, change the effectiveness of like healing, DP, AP, all that kind of stuff in Rifts. So we feel like there's like a meta becoming of like 2 healers or something. We're able to very easily adjust that. So that will be something that we will continue to look at and make changes from there. More patches first, maybe 1 to 2 more major expansions before Steam release. Yeah, so that's really the biggest thing for us is we want to feel like before we Steam release, that we have really everything that we think is needed. When Ravenon released, we felt like we knew our content roadmap and what we wanted to add to the game already, but we are quite happy with what was included in launch. However, very quickly we discovered, okay, there's a few systems that actually really need to be in the game first. And we have a couple more that we really want to get into the game first, and then we'd be looking at a Steam release. Like, yeah, we've heard it already a lot from the community with the PTR, just saying like Ravenon feels so like it's even more obvious that these things were missing now that they're playing them. Like it just feels like these were so important for the game. And we want to make sure that we have all of those ducks in a row before we Steam release. If you plan to add something for dollars, you have to make, do you plan to add something for dollars? You have to make money from this game somehow. Add more skins for weapons, skills, teleports. Yeah, I mean, you know, we did add more skins. Just being 100% transparent with you guys, skins do very little revenue. There's been a couple skins that we've dropped that have basically just broken even on the artist time and the developers to implement it. You can get skins for free in the game. So because of this, people don't care much about skins. Skins usually only work in games where there's no way, where there's no way to get a skin without paying for it. People can freely get skins in the game, so that definitely like very much hurts that. In the end of the day, though, skins monetize like literally a couple % of our revenue. Most of it comes from Patreon and like inventory expansion and stuff like that. And even with that, we know that we monetize about 10% per player of what most MMORPGs do. Granted, most MMORPGs have incredibly pay to win loop or systems in them, or loopholes, whatever, systems more. And we're aware of that. In the end of the day, we feel like it's our first and foremost goal is to be building a special game for many years to come. And we don't feel like we can do that by aggressively monetizing. And that is okay with us. But watermelon juice is right here. It is not because they're so expensive. There is insane amounts of data to disagree with that. We understand that some people think that. That is totally fine. But that is absolutely not why. There's no data in the game industry in South America either to support that. And again, go to PoE and look at the $500 bundles. But yeah. Also, putting skins in the game apart from the bundles does not sell more either. Regionalized prices. Unfortunately, you can't do regionalized prices unless a game is regionalized. For obvious reasons, right? When you have a global MMORPG, you can't do regionalized prices for that very reason. Unless you have a locked region server, then you can. Please get more thoughts about systems that you want to add for Steam release. Yeah, there's a lot. Dungeons and raids, those are kind of like a big one. A more frequent battleground system is another big one. Yeah, there's quite, I don't want to share too much because some things are things that we want to do, but we might not. And I don't want to say it here. And then you guys 3 months later are like, you promised you would make this. And I was like, well, no, I was just kind of spitballing ideas. So I just got to be a little bit more careful on what I share nowadays. Yeah, glory shards are affected by bonus loot mechanics. I'm in love with your decorating of your bookshelf. Yeah, I appreciate that. It's been slow grow over the last almost decade. I had to get new shelves a year ago to fit it all. But there's lots of different things. Grinch, my favorite movie of all time. The one with Jim Carrey. Donald Duck. We have a Raven Dawn statue. Lots of Lord of the Rings stuff. Lots of Harry Potter stuff. Football or American football stuff. Lots of Pokemon stuff. Warhammer, Magic, pretty much everything. And I have a lot more around my office too that you guys can't see. But Kingdom Hearts, World of Warcraft stuff, more Pokemon stuff. Brazil banner, which is below my small desk over there. Your favorite Pokemon? Raichu. Not even a question. Unfortunately, Labosi, I'm pretty sure every single CEO in the world is Slytherin. Small desk. Yeah, sorry, not small desk. It's like a cap, it's where my speakers and stuff are for the screen. It's not a small desk. But yeah. It looks really nice there, right below the TV. It looks great. Are you planning on any advertising before Horizon's call? Because there's little time left and nothing visible. So most effective advertising is usually about 5 days out. We've already set up a ton of deals with creators. I mean, most are just coming back to play, but we've revamped our referral system to be a little bit better for creators. This will be for all existing creators, by the way. So if you're a creator and you're I didn't get a message about that, if you're a consistent creator right now, you or all creators will get it. But if you're a consistent creator right now, we just assume that you're going to see it. So we didn't want to spam you about it. We've I think we're in contact with 400 creators right now. And then all of our Meta and Google ads, they all go live, I think tomorrow or Monday morning. Yeah. Actually, sorry, no. Some stuff has already gone live. If you haven't seen ads though, that's a good thing. We intentionally have it good ad runs. People that are already engaging with the website, have gone to the website in the last 7 days or whatever, those players, you don't want to be hitting them with ads, right? Because they're probably already existing players, so you're just burning money. If you're seeing ads for a game that you're actively playing, that's probably not a good sign, or it just means that the ad campaign was done pretty poorly. If it's a game that you haven't played in like 30 days, then it is a good ad, if that makes sense. Give us patch notes. The patch notes should be posted. They were supposed to be posted 10 minutes ago. You can just go to the website to see them. Okay, we got 20 minutes left until the PTR. I'm gonna be right back. 2 minutes. I'm just gonna go to the bathroom, and then we'll continue for a little more, leading right into the PTR. I might have a few more things to share, so we're back. All right, I'm back. Capybara can go. What did you say about the referral program and content creators? Haven't heard anything about it. Yeah, so we'll have that announced in the content creator channel quite soon. Just additional stuff that you guys will be getting. Also, a lot of repeat questions, so I'm just skipping over those. But if you tuned in late, I encourage you to watch the live stream VOD, because if your answer or if your question hasn't been answered, it probably was in the VOD. Any idea on better ultra wide support? I'm curious what you mean. I use ultra wide and I have no issues. I talked about single target hunting already in the stream about 50 minutes ago. I love Raven Dawn. I love Raven Dawn as well. Why the game doesn't have events or something like events? I'm not saying dynamic events. Can you give an example of what you mean by events then? Like, do you mean like Aether Rifts and Aether Echoes, or like Guild Wars, or like I'm not sure what you mean by events then. Like, do you mean like a Halloween event or? Oh, there's so much shit I can share with you guys too. Yeah, new aggro UI. The new aggro UI will show. I don't know if this is actually in for PTR number 2 here, or if it's going to be in for launch or what. But here you can see the aggro UI. It shows the aggro percentage, the aggro order based on who has aggro, who has the next closest aggro, color coordinated, and also shows the aggro above your targeted mob as well. Community events, we do quite a few of those as well. Duel event would be fun. You do not need 2,200 tokens to use the Warforge. No. Oh, leaderboard. Thank you for reminding me. We've been working on the leaderboard. It's quite close. Leaderboard will have a lot of stuff in it. It'll have Aether Rifts. So like the amount of times you've won in Aether Rifts. It'll have like AP/DP leaderboards, legacy level leaderboards, individual archetype leaderboards, heaviest fish caught leaderboards, like 10 other things like professions. It'll also have a fastest time to kill each boss, so like specifically based on each boss for Aether Echoes in Madness mode. So if you're like a huge PvE head and you want to be like, okay, we're the best PvE group at killing Aether Echoes, there will be high score times for those as well. Yeah, lots of other stuff as well. Most hours played, yeah, that would be fun. Oh, like most experience gained in 24 hours is a leaderboard thing. Most experience gained in 30 days is also a leaderboard thing. Yeah, lots of those. Number 1 person talking in global chat leaderboard. Are you going to add an icon to the theater system? Sorry, what do you mean by theater system? We need a whole lot more emblems to upgrade the large house. Why not reward emblems for gathering professions like fishing does? Yeah, we probably will. But we also just added a new thing for getting emblems. It's in the patch notes. We went over at the beginning of stream. I think it was like the first thing. Is there a Warfare leaderboard or just EPNS? Right now it's just EPNS. We might add something though. Like we've talked about, there will be some fun stuff with like a special type of shine or a special cosmetic or something, or at the very least titles is something that I can basically guarantee you we will add. But yeah, I think he means threat system. Oh yeah, that makes sense. And yes, there will be icons, threat meter, threat rank, stuff like these. Yeah, well, Yuma just kind of answered it. I was reading her answer, which was an answer to you. I want the poor title. Can we have a light theme on the Raven on website? It's hard to read white letters with a black background for some people. Yeah, no, absolutely. We get that. We'll maybe in the future add like an alternative like color scheme for some people. Yeah. Timeout Discord ranking. I'm not sure. Shards will be traded when collecting them or only after getting a trophy. I'm not actually positive on that. I imagine they're tradable for, but I honestly don't have the answer to that off my head right now. Death ranking would be funny. That actually would be pretty funny. Actually, that's a good one. However, I guess people that like PvP a lot would kind of always be on that ranking board. PvE deaths would be funnier. Are there plans to upgrade trinkets, like use Raven Essence to upgrade them? Yeah, possibly in the future. We've talked about like some Aether Rift trinkets or Aether Echo trinkets, stuff like that. Like trinkets that would only be usable in like rifts. So like if you're a PvP player, you can get trinkets that can be upgraded through rifts and are only usable in rifts, and the same kind of for PvE. But will you guys add new trinkets? Yeah, 100%. Oh, ranking for which mob kills the most players. That would be fun. Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, I think they are soulbound until you exchange them, but I'm not positive off my head. All right, guys, we're 10 minutes away from PTR number 2 going live, the final PTR before Horizons Call. So I'm going to do kind of a closing thing here because the questions are slowing down quite a bit. We are 6 days away from the release of Horizons Call. Our team is very busy prepping everything for it, making sure everything goes smooth. We've been very, very pleased with how smooth the PTR went. We were very, obviously very anxious having so much new stuff come in the game and how complex a lot of those new things are and the way they behave in the game. We were very happy with how smooth it went. I know even for the community, that was a concern. Like they were like, concerned about the timeline and stuff. It ended up being a perfect timeline. We were very happy about it. We did so much internal testing on all this content. And we're very happy with how smooth it's gone. We're going to consistently have changes leading up to the expansion and after the expansion, guys. One of the biggest benefits is on launch. We didn't have hundreds of thousands of people beta testing. So when we released the game, there was obviously a million things that came up that we had to fix, improve, change, stuff like that. And that put a real delay on making new stuff and creating new content that we want to do. With Horizons Call, we're able to really just dive into stuff right away again. So expect lots of new things coming post Horizons Call, new content, new updates. That will never change. And look forward to new archetypes in the future, new weapon types, dungeon/raids kind of style content. That is something that is key on our list that we want to do. We've also talked about some other stuff for guilds to make guilds a little bit more interesting as well. There's lots of stuff we want to do. Only so much time in the day, a million things we want to do. But one thing I just want to say is the team has really appreciated how much support has come from the community since the first PTR. We saw player adventures, community players were very excited about the new things we've added and found them very fun. We're going to continue to strive in that right direction based on our engagement with the community and feedback from you guys. Best ways you can support us, guys, are sharing your enjoyment of the PTR, sharing with your gaming community, with your friends, and letting them know about Horizons Call. And monetarily, you can support us by getting one of the bundles. Again, we are taking a very affordable patron approach. We're half, if not less than, or more than half of the price of membership and premium in many games. And then on top of that, very much rely on cosmetics as a form of monetization. So if you want to support our monetization model and the way that we're trying to do things, please go get a bundle or a starter pack. And if you're not able to, not a problem. You can absolutely also support us just by spreading the word and sharing about Raven Dawn and about the expansion. That is just as helpful to us and means a lot. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in and listening to me talk about PTR number 2 for over an hour. We're very excited for the second PTR to start here, and we're very excited for Friday for the expansion. So thank you guys so much for all your time. I very much look forward to seeing you guys in game, and we are 6 days away. Have a good one, guys. Bye. Enjoy the PTR, okay? Oh, if you didn't finish your Twitch drop, go watch any streamer, okay? I'm not going to play selection here. Go watch any streamer that is live. And anyone who's been watching the stream and restreaming it, thank you. But go watch a streamer do content, and you will get those Twitch drops, okay? They are live on all official Raven Dawn streamers, which many of the ones live will be that. So see you guys all in 6 days. Have fun on the PTR.